How's it going, everybody? Ian back with another video. Today is going to be what I am currently reading, and I have a kind of a series review because I did finish a series basically last night, or at least a trilogy. I know that there's more books in that series. I don't know if I'll continue with them. All right, let's get started with what I'm currently reading right now. I started this last night, Brian Ruckley's Fall of Thanes. 12 pages, no, 20 pages in to this last book here in the Godless World by Brian Ruckley. Not sure if I'm going to do a series review. I don't know if I have a full grasp of what's going on totally in these books, but they're pretty just straightforward sword and sorcery type of. It's not the plot's not terribly too deep, so maybe I'll get one of those reviews out. And then I have started the final book in the Chris Cherry? Yes, Chris Cherry series by J. Todd Scott. The first two books I gave 5 and 4 stars. The Far Empty and the High White Sun. This is basically a modern Western, a small town sheriff has to take on all these drug cartels on this border town he's got to deal with those type of stuff. And the second book deals with like a motorcycle gang. And yeah, so this is This Side of Night. So I'm just rattling out these trilogies. Okay, now on to the somewhat book reviews, I guess. I finished Targeted by Stephen Hunter. This is a Bob Lee Swagger novel. Basically, it's Hunter wrote all these novels. I think this is number 14 or something like that in the Bob Lee Swagger. And then he's also got Earl Lee. Sorry, this is moving. I got a shaky, rickety table here. And then Earl Swagger. I don't know if his name is Lee. Earl Swagger, which is Bob Lee's dad. So we've got, this is the next book. I can't talk too much because it does spoil the book before this one. But overall, I think Stephen Hunter has lost his touch. I gave this 1 star. It's pretty cardboard. It's not as good as his other stuff. In my opinion, like I think he should start another series, my guess, like another character or something. Bob Lee in here is 74 years old, and it's like just kind of like, okay, like just retire. I mean, I know he's trying to. Technically, that's what this book is about. He's trying to retire, but he keeps on getting dragged back in. But yeah, I don't know. I miss what he did in his earlier, but his earlier books are great, and then these last few that I've read are just not the best. So that's Targeted by Stephen Hunter. All right, and now what I originally made this video for, and I kind of just turned it into a short wrap-up. I did finish The Last Mortal Bond, Brian Staveley. This is the Unhewn Book 3. I cruised through this. This took me maybe a week to get through, and it's a thick book. So these are the first two. Gave Emperor's Blade. I gave that one 4 stars. Providence of Fire, I gave 5 stars. This one, I gave 2 stars. Unfortunately, it just it felt like all the battles sort of like there were battles in this, but a lot of the important stuff took place off page. Like he was just explaining what happened to a few characters, just explaining what you know how books like end chapters with like something about to happen. He ended a chapter with all the good guys basically coming in to rescue some people, and then it skipped to like the executions of the he just basically just said so they jumped over blah 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 and they did all this stuff. You didn't live in that moment. He just kind of, it was the aftermath of what was happening, the cleanup, if you will. which that happened about, it had a great build up. Like 400 pages in, I was in. Like, okay, this could end with a 5-star. And then the last, it's like, I don't know what happened, but the last, because 650 pages, the last 250 pages, he just kind of like, maybe he had like another book to write. I don't know, but that's my opinion. Like, just it was just kind of sloppy at the end. And from what I was reading on like Goodreads, and there was a Reddit thread that I found, they kind of had the same conclusion. Like, it was great setup, but he couldn't stick that landing. Um, yeah, okay, so I really enjoyed most of the characters. Okay, so sorry again for the shaking. I hopefully no one's throwing up. I don't know why it's shaking so much. I got too many heavy books. But so basically, what you have here is you've got 3 siblings. That's who the story is revolving around. Their dad is the king of this, and this is all set up. This is not spoilers. This is all set up in this book here. So basically, you have the 3 kids. You have 2 boys and then a girl. The dad is assassinated. He's assassinated. And it's basically these 3 characters. They're all in different places. The daughter is with the father, training to become like an advisor type person. The son is with a bunch of monks up in the mountains, basically training to be the next emperor. That's what the emperors do in this story. They have to go and train with the monks to learn about the history and all that stuff. And he's up there. And then the youngest son is trained to be a ketrel. And a ketrel is basically these ultimate warriors, and they fly on these giant birds called ketrel. These giant hawks. I don't know what kind of bird. They're giant birds, and these ketrel, like, they fly around with them, and they're great fighters. So basically, you're going through with him, Valen. Valen is that character's name. Valen was my favorite, just great. His story arc is pretty cool. And then what I also liked about these 3, you have the 3 characters, and then you have that surrounding cast around these 3 characters. Valen has his group. Caden, who is with the monks, has his group of people with him, and Adair, I think, I don't know. She has her own clan kind of groups. And then it's when they start coming together, and that's when you have some conflict and stuff like that. That's the best. I love that storytelling. Anyway, so basically, the emperor is assassinated, and it's kind of like a coup from within. And they decide to attack. They want to wipe out this entire family, so they attack the siblings, and of course, they survive with their groups, and they're in hiding and all that stuff. But yeah, that's the premise of basically book 1, and that's kind of where it goes from there. There's some gods in this, toiling and stuff like that. Some ancient gods, but and one thing back to the criticism, I would say this series, I would give it a go. It just wasn't for me. But in my opinion, the first 2 great books are great. It's that third almost to that 200 mark, or you read the first 400 of that third book, and then it just kind of goes off the rails for me. One thing that I did hear about this on the Reddit thread, the villain in this series is not really fleshed out too much, and you need to have a good foil to your to your plans, I guess. You need to have a good antagonist to go up against your protagonist. And I don't think this kind of book kind of suffered. Or I should say, there is a villain, an overall villain in this book that's he's pretty cool, actually. It's just that the last book, they didn't flesh him out enough. He got pretty good props in the first two books. Like he was a menace, and like you thought, but it just kind of like flopped in the end. He was kind of like he didn't show up too much in the last book, I guess. He was just talked about it, and it just like yeah, I don't know. I want to see what's going on. I want to meet the bad guys. But yeah, so I think that was it for that series. Is just that was my number one complaint. Is it just didn't have a good bad guy, I guess. Or they had a lot of potential, but they just Stavely just I don't know for some reason couldn't get that. There is a fourth book in this called Skullsworn, but I think it's more of a standalone. So I don't, and I was reading about what it was and the character that it has. It's just not that interesting to me, so I don't think I'll read that. And then he's got a fifth book, but it starts up a new series, but in the same world. Who knows? Maybe when those are all done, I'll try because I don't think I'm going to wait for these books to come out. But anyway, that's it for my my reading wrap up / this review. So take care, everybody. Have a good one.